Welcome to episode 11 of Waves of Wisdom with J.OCEANA. Be sure to subscribe for your weekly tide of truths and transformation where we dive deep and surface wiser. Y'all, imagine saving your money, doing everything right, getting your credit together, buying your dream home, just to find out it's built like a cardboard box. I'm talking cracks in the walls, foundational issues, mold, poor construction. Well, that's the reality for one of the biggest home builders in America, who is currently facing hella lawsuits over this situation. Let's talk about the housing crisis and why new builds are not what they're selling you. Let's start with the bigger picture, the elephant in the room. We are in a housing crisis. Prices are high, interest rates are high, it's expensive to rent, it's expensive to buy. And instead of affordable, quality housing, we're getting mass-produced homes built as fast and as cheap as possible. They're not building homes, they're building inventory. And we'll chat in a separate video about these overpriced apartments. I actually saw a post today that said that the average rent amount in the US just hit $3,000 a month, and I believe it. And what's even crazier is these landlords still expect you to make 3 times that in order to live there. That's $9,000 a month or $108,000 every single year you would have to make in order to sustain that and probably just be getting by. And the gag is, there's jobs out here that aren't even paying more than $20 an hour yet. The math is not mathing, y'all. Now let's talk about this very popular builder, one of the largest home builders in the US currently. There have been multiple complaints and lawsuits tied to poor construction quality, structural issues, foundational problems, plumbing and drainage issues, and way more. Homeowners are moving into these brand new homes and immediately dealing with problems that shouldn't exist for years. Not only is that frustrating, that's completely unacceptable. Let's take a look at these nasty new builds.
You gotta love it when you pull up to a new build like the one behind me and the project manager already has all the doors opened up and he comes out and he says, I don't even know why the client ordered a home inspection, but she's all yours. Let's see if this house is in good a shape as he thinks it is. It's one thing to have some shrinkage cracking or some chipped concrete at the corner or some more chipped concrete at the other corner. Exposed anchor bolts at the exterior foundation, that's where I draw the line. But an exposed plumbing drain line at the exterior foundation, there's no way we can let that fly. Here's the sewer clean out at the neighbor's house. See the S? Here's the sewer clean out at our house. It's extended too high, so we can't put a cover here. We're gonna have to cut that pipe down. Seeing some daylight at this back door. Wonder why the dishwasher's not installed. I wonder if it has something to do with this outlet. Sure is beautiful up here. But if you look underneath here, you look at the soffit, we see an opening here. We got some damage. This is like a vinyl siding soffit here. We got some damage here and some cracking here. And then a little spot here. It wouldn't be bad to paint all this wood either, just to help it last longer. Here we got some wood. That front door's sticking. But a surge protector at the panel makes me happy. This video won't do it justice, but there is a noticeable hump right here in the middle of this bedroom. So much so, I could even call it a tripping hazard. The door stopper at the front door is missing the rubber cover. Like this one, but this one's not installed. Let's go ahead and get this installed for them. There we go. Here at the garage door, I gotta hold down the button. As soon as I let go of the button, the door opens right back up. And it will not shut all the way. This is as far as it will go. This can move, and this can move. But this shouldn't move. It's really loose. They GFI protected everything in the house. That is an upgrade. They did not have to do that, but they did anyways. They really need to take the time to seal this shower enclosure. Some clear sealant here at the bottom would be great.
This is the primary bedroom door, the entry door. As you see, there's no strike plate. What they did was they put these nails right here, bent them, so that they catch the latch to the door. See that? Hey, that's that landlord special, man. Hey, you gotta call it out. All right, we standing here in the primary bedroom. Y'all hear the ceiling fan? Gotta call it out. We in the kitchen right now looking at these countertops. I believe I showed y'all this recently, but every time we in the property, these countertops are not safe. You gotta check them. Let's see what this one do. See that? Hey, gotta call that out every time. We got more countertops right here, same thing. Gotta lift them up, man. They shouldn't move. They gotta be secured. Gotta call that out. And we have more. Let's see. Let's see. Yep, gotta call those out too. We got the dishwasher running. There's no water to the dishwasher, man. So we definitely got to call this out. This been running since we've been here. I've been hearing it hum, but no water. It stank too. Got to call that out.
It's like piano keys back here. That's crazy. Y'all, this man just told me this house was $760,000. I checked them both, and the primary bathroom tub is producing no hot water. This is loose. Loose is an understatement on this one. I said, your house is sitting on top of a gas line. He said, what you mean? I said, well, there's a joist and there's a pier, and then there's a gas line in between that joist and pier. He said, won't that possibly crush it and, blow the house up? I said, potentially. This is damaged. We have another loose brick. Sprinkler head at the left side back corner is also not rotating. No weep holes above this window. The mortar meets the patio everywhere else except for here. In the primary bathroom, the left side sink is leaking. We got a brick at the corner of this window loose. Damaged flooring. This is damaged. They installed this light fixture over the top of these trim pieces, and now it's leaving a gap. Should sit flush like the rest. This needs to be cleaned above the front entryway. Same thing here at these windows.
How are the floors, you ask? Let's find out. All slope to the back side of the home. Here's the other side that's also missing transitional flashing and has nice cracks in the mortar joints. Here's what the cracks look like from the inside of the home. Nice stress crack above the door. Of course, Doesn't close, not even close. Go inside the bathroom. Here's another stress crack. That one's about 1/4 of an inch wide. It's not good.
Well, the flooring didn't quite make it here at this intersection.
Here along the right side of the home, there are stair-stepping brick cracks with deflection above that steel lintel, and that horizontal crack runs about 15 feet over to the expansion joint. The brick transition at this roof overhang is missing flashing, and also synthetic felt to cover the roof sheathing. Exterior window frames are not fully sealed around the brick veneer. My only guess on this one is the contractor ran out of caulking, but either way, it needs to be fixed.
New construction. Welcome to your new home. Haven't even made it in the house yet.
Isn't that supposed to be a gap right there?
Window frame's cracked.
Got to seal up some nails. That's a decent sized foundation crack. And then starting to get diagonal stair step cracking, which points to structural movement.
Brand new house. Okay, and in the same area, we start getting a pretty decent separation in these joined materials. Y'all like how that looks? See that? Not much hanging over right there, but a good amount hanging over right there. It adds character. We need to backfill all this with more soil and sod. Look how much footing's exposed. Well, guess they're just gonna leave that there. It's broken.
We make contact here, not here.
Water pressure should be between 40 and 80. It's at 100.
I just want to open it to test it, but the whole thing comes up out the floor.
It says GFCI, but it ain't tripping.
We got a broken window seal already on the new construction. No way to change the speed to the ceiling fan because the chains aren't even installed.
This is loose. It's some hinges. This is loose.
I hate these stoppers with a passion. It's too much work. Whenever they're sealing the windows, I never understand why they install the caulking over loose pieces of mortar. See? Now it's open. This is damaged.
Cracks and damages at the sidewalk. Standing water at the sidewalk area. Oh shoot, I almost fell. This tree bubbler looks great. This one needs to be adjusted. I wouldn't even survive off this.
Bugs in the house, but obviously they're coming in because we got gaps at the entryways.
Downspout missing components.
Almost thought I had a good one today. Started out okay, then it went downhill. Food waste disposer doesn't work, and it is plugged in and there is power. Okay, I want to know whose idea this was. Who approved this? I don't even understand how I am looking at this right now. Why would you want that? It's right in the way of your face. Okay, let's check the top of the shower. Whoa, they actually sealed it. Oh, never mind. Strap's broken. Also, someone walked across this insulation or something. Should be a nice 14 to 16 all the way across. Not like that. Every single new build. This is a post-tension cable, and the whole thing should be sealed. Should be like a little cap of mortar right there. Like this. Just like that.
Still got doors that ain't let you. Almost everywhere.
This is loose and it's missing a screw. I'ma legit leave money on my inspection if I ever find one of these made right. I ain't gonna lie, they got me this time, y'all. I I can't finagle this one how I did the last one. And I can't figure out the code. Oh, let me try this. Okay, that ain't work either. Look at this right here. I really ain't got no words for this. This is crazy. Only one of the lights to the vent hood is responding. The office doors are not aligned properly. I think that their builds have to come with water at the sidewalk. Like it's mandatory. Everywhere. We still get no garage door openers. They installed the shutoff valve to this cooktop way back here behind this drawer, so it's not easily accessible in the event of an emergency. Now the windows are no longer mobile, but we still ain't got no window screens. So we can, we can still let go and let God now. We can still do it. We also have holes in the retaining wall. Hey, my hand ashy. Oh my God. I guess they seen my video because they did a little better with this house than they did with the last house. Because last time this was right here blocking the access.
Come, when you get your house built, you gotta come every single day to watch these folks build your home. This a low bearing wall. Look at the gap. Look how your nails in here.
Look at this one. Look right here. Look at this. It's not even stable.
Look at your gaps.
So you pay $500,000 to $1 million to get a house built, only for them to build your house like they building a Lego house? Make that make sense.
Hey, so this one of them unique situations that y'all wouldn't believe unless I caught it on camera. You pull this down to engage that little piece there, but it's not aligned for the hole above. The edges are also damaged. Some of the floor tiles are damaged. Y'all still ain't learned from the last person countertops y'all messed up. I always find a way to entertain myself on these home inspections. Like, I may never get a chance to do this again. You feel me? They put these little pieces to try to cover up the opening like it would blend in. We got baseboards all the way around this garage, except for here. We do have the security hinges that I be looking for. Perfect. But we ain't got a door stopper though. Weather stripping to the sliding door is incomplete. Looking at the expansion joint on the side of the home, they sealed it until they couldn't seal it no more. I'm down here looking under the cabinet and I see this. I'm like, okay, what the freak is that? I get to touching it and they just, I'm telling y'all, get a home inspection.
Well, here's an amazing tip to start your day. Sometimes you need to try harder than somebody trying harder than you.
Some hairline cracking at the post-tension concrete foundation slab. Hairline step cracks at the perimeter block wall.
And hairline cracks at the walls and ceilings throughout almost half of the rooms throughout the home.
All right, let's check for those gas leaks. Yep, there's your gas leak. And at the neighbor's house, there's your gas leak. At the main electrical panel, damaged neutral wire right here. That needs to be repaired. Do you think that walking on your roof really voids your roof warranty? Over 8,000 home inspections and 0 roof warranties voided. And what fun is a home inspection without a cracked shower surround?
So it's really sad out here, y'all. And yes, it's good to find your own inspector if you do decide to buy a new build home. Don't get the home inspected or just go with the inspector that the builder may offer, because they're of course going to pass them because they're in cahoots together, they're working together, they're getting paid off. But also try to go out there with the inspector and look for yourself, because while they're professionals, you may even be able to spot different things that you do or don't like within the home. D.R. Horton is currently under fire for their bad practices, and even though other builders do have complaints, D.R. Horton actually has a whole lawsuit, and amongst building failures, residents are also claiming that the homes are actually making them sick.
Investigation uncovered more than a dozen Georgia homeowners who allege one of the nation's largest builders sold them defective homes.
Arbitration records reveal that homeowners claim the company sold them houses with faulty plumbing that have repeatedly failed, causing water damage. Atlanta News First investigative reporter Andy Parati shows us one of those homes with dozens of leaks.
November 21st, around 8 p.m.
Like clockwork, the water pipes in Matthew Arden's new home seem to leak.
These pipes like to burst on Fridays.
On schedule for years.
I mean, they burst every day, but it definitely likes Friday nights when I'm getting ready to settle down.
How many leaks have you had? You had to guess.
If I had to guess, 26, 27. I stopped counting somewhere in the teens for a little while because they were coming one after the other, like day after day. That's something we need to get fixed.
Today, Matthew says his home looks like Swiss cheese. Hole after hole after hole.
Another leak and another leak and another leak.
Matthew says the holes left the door open for bugs because he had to repair the pipes.
Roaches and bugs.
That's awful.
It is. My wife wants to kill me. That is the one bug that she cannot stand is roaches.
Matthew purchased his home in 2019 from D.R. Horton, one of the largest home builders in the country. It was brand new, turnkey ready. But an Atlanta News First investigation uncovered he's not the only one in his Dallas, Georgia neighborhood experiencing problems. According to a pending arbitration complaint against D.R. Horton, at least 15 other homeowners claim their water pipes started leaking about 4 years after moving in.
We're just waiting. It's like a time bomb. I'm a nervous wreck all the time wondering when it's going to hit the fan.
John and Rosemary Pastula, Greg Reneker, and Yasmin Roman.
You don't want to go out. You don't do your normal routines because you're so worried that when you come home, you're going to deal with a disaster.
These were all brand new homes?
Yes.
Yep. No one had ever lived in this home before you moved in?
No.
Ballpark, how much has this cost you?
Out of pocket, $5,000, but my estimate so far about a little over $50,000.
We've got estimates that to do the whole house would run about $25,000.
$100,000 plus.
Yeah, close to $30,000 out of pocket, and the estimates are $100,000 plus in damages.
D.R. Horton did not respond to multiple emails and phone calls from Atlanta News First investigates. The pipes that D.R. Horton used in all of the homes, according to the arbitration complaint, were manufactured by the same company, Upinar.
It is coming from another piece of Upinar pipe.
Upinar declined interview requests, sending this prepared statement that reads in part, independent experts have categorically stated there is not a systemic issue with our PEX pipe, adding we recognize the disruption plumbing issues can cause and have been actively engaged in working towards fair and appropriate resolutions. The homeowner's attorney, Chuck Douglas, says D.R. Horton should pay for the damages.
They made a promise to these homeowners in the form of a warranty, and they're now not living up to that promise.
Okay, today is June 17th.
Matthew says it's past time.
We're 3 days since the last leak.
D.R. Horton be held accountable.
I'm realistic that as a homeowner, there's going to be repairs, but nothing to this extent. They have the responsibility to provide me with a livable home.
Now, the arbitration claim also alleges the builder has repaired or replaced pipes in some neighboring homes, but not to the homeowners we spoke with. Here's the takeaway if you live in a new home. Review your builder's warranty and any manufacturer warranties on plumbing components. Many include mandatory arbitration clauses, which can prevent homeowners from suing. So consult an attorney to understand your rights and document everything, photos, repair bills, and written communication if you believe there's a defect. Andy Parati, Atlanta News.
This will drive me crazy. Ah, this is just beautiful. Whoever did this grout job must have said, oh, can't see it from my house, cause ain't no way in hell. I low-key could already tell before I even turned the water on, but this is leaking. They already had a bad leak in this area, and I can see where the flash in this gap, like right here at that corner. Let's get that sealed. Filter is blacker than me. Water damage observed at the window sill. You can see the swelling here. Looking at that flashing from a totally different angle, and you can see exactly how the water was. Scoping it out from the top, there's just a lot of moisture buildup, like sweat, basically. So that's where all the moisture is coming from. It's getting inside to begin with. I mean, it's not even resting on top of the bricks. You got loose bricks. I mean, of course water got inside. I'd be impressed if it didn't. We got exposed nails, and it's already starting to rust. Is that piss or coke, or coke and piss? We got horizontal railings on the 3rd floor.
Tonight, let's go to the North Shore now. More than 200 people gathered, claiming that their homes are not a safe place to live. Most of those homeowners are living in Lakeshore Villages. It's a development built by D.R. Horton, who is being sued by thousands of people. WDSU North Shore Bureau reporter Chantel Davis is live in Slidell tonight with the concerning claims from those residents and a big packed meeting tonight. Chantel.
Yes, Sella, and tonight's meeting got pretty passionate, with some residents leaving in tears, and all of that emotion built up because they say their dream home turned into their nightmare.
Cannot no longer be silent.
It's a cry for change.
I done had 3 walls ripped up, the ceilings, the floors. What's next?
Hundreds within the Slidell community say they are suffering in their own homes.
I asked the superintendent at the time, what can I do about, the mold, my health? Do you know how much mold is in my house? What type of mold? And I wasn't given an answer. It was, I don't know, we'll get back to you.
And my favorite place that I love, my bedroom, is contaminated. And the air that I'm breathing in there is harming me.
Attorney Lance Unglesby is representing more than 1,000 people who are suing D.R. Horton, a developer who built the homes in Lakeshore Villages.
Because what we're doing is I'm trying to get to people before their house shows visible mold to help people stop being harmed.
In front of more than 200 people inside Living the Word International Tuesday night, Lance says he's tested 120 homes which are positive for high levels of mold. Many families voicing their concerns, saying they are first-time home buyers, but within months of purchasing their home, mold penetrated through their walls and vents. Gail Jones tells me she's afraid her home is killing her.
I think the house is going to be what take him out, not the stroke.
Jones says she can't afford to leave her home, and she's not alone.
We're going to have a hard time selling a home because of all the issues, and I'm still living in it. Wow. Because I can't afford to start over.
Now, I did reach out to D.R. Horton Homes today, and however, they have not yet responded. It is important to note that they are not only being sued by residents here in Slidell, but residents across the country. I'm live in Slidell. Chantel Davis, WDSU News.
Do not buy new construction. I repeat, do not buy a home that is new construction. I'm going to tell y'all a little story. I bought a home roughly seven and a half years ago from the company D.R. Horton. One of the worst development companies there is out there. They put these homes up fast and cheap. So I bought a home from D.R. Horton, brand new home. It was a townhouse and was the first one on the block to purchase a home. First ones on the block. They offered an incentive they usually do under new construction to pay majority of the closing costs, which is the reason why I went for it, because that closing costs can get expensive. And this was in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, so very expensive. So they were paying offering to pay majority of the closing costs. So went with them, and it was new construction. 2, maybe 3 years in, house already has a major plumbing problem. We had the kitchen was right below the master bathroom. It was 2-story, obviously, townhouse. So the kitchen was right below the master bathroom. I take a shower one day, then come downstairs and almost bust my ass in the kitchen. Water everywhere. I'm like, damn, what's going on? Like, I ain't leave the sink running or nothing like that. The dishwasher ain't flooded. What's going on? The washing machine ain't flooded. What's going on? So I'm looking around, scratching my head, and then I look up, I see a huge water stain in the roof, in the ceiling. So I'm tall enough, I take my finger, poke right through it. Water, 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 water. Just dripping. I'm like, damn, what the hell? Had 3 plumbers come to diagnose the problem. 3. Every last one of them came in there and said, who built this house? They said D.R. Horton. They said, let me show you something. The first one said, let me show you something. He said, you see these pipes right here? Put the little flashlight. See these pipes right here? Terrible. All this material, cheap. He said, you would have had to redo all this sooner or later. I said, okay, thank you, sir. Next one. The next one had worked on a couple houses in the neighborhood, and as soon as he came in the house and he looked at the hole in that kitchen, he said, I don't even need to go up there. He said, I already know what the problem is. I said, what you mean? He said, your neighbors I've done 3 houses. They all had the same problem. Third one come in. The reason why I get the third one is because it's my dad's guy that he uses. So I was like, I should just use him from the jump. But he come in there, he put the little flashlight. He said, yep, these pipes is trash, and I already know what the problem is. Do not buy new construction. They are putting these houses up fast and cheap. You're looking especially if it's your first home, you're going to look at it and see a nice home. Oh, 3 bedroom, 3 bath, 2-car garage, nice yard space. Oh my God, look at the neighborhood, honey. Let's get it. And you're going to get in that house and you will start having major structural problems, plumbing problems, roofing problems, all that. Septic tank problems. You're going to start having all these problems. They are putting these houses up fast and cheap. Fast and cheap is the name of the game. Fast and cheap. Beware. The best thing to do will be to build your house from the ground up. Be right there when they break ground and watch them go through the whole process. Don't go the cheap route. You will pay for it in the long run. These companies, and I'm putting D.R. Horton on blast because they're the ones that I bought my first home from. These companies are sparing every expense to put these houses up, using the cheapest materials and using unlicensed, unskilled labor to get these houses put up. I know in Georgia it's real bad here, but these companies are putting these houses up everywhere across America, fast and cheap. Do not buy new construction. I wouldn't even buy from D.R. Horton to be specific, but there are other companies that do the same thing, to put up fast and cheap. Do your research. I will specifically warn y'all about D.R. Horton. Do not buy a home from D.R. Horton, and do not buy, new construction.
Let me be real with y'all. New builds today are not the same as older homes. A lot of these homes are built fast, not carefully, using cheaper materials, focused on appearance over durability. Yeah, they look good, but they're not built to last. It's giving aesthetics over foundation, literally. These blue-collar workers, from plumbers, electricians, especially the housing inspectors, are making bank right now. Unfortunately for the average person or family, building from the ground up is way too expensive. So basically, the message here is that if you're trying to build a life for yourself on a budget, even though, where is the budget? Because some of these houses are $500,000, you get cheated in the end because the builders are using cheap products and doing half-ass work. And that's totally unacceptable. And if you really zoom out, this is deeper than just houses. This is about illusion versus reality. They sell you the quote-unquote American dream. They've been doing this for generations. But behind it is a bunch of debt, stress, and instability. That's why it's so important to stay aware, stay discerning, and not just follow what looks good on the surface. And do your research. It might just be better to flip a house, but buying trailers and modular homes have also been very popular, and they actually look really nice on the inside. So there's definitely still options. It just needs to be known that so many of these builders are taking advantage of young couples, people wanting to buy starter homes or even retirement homes, etc. Nobody should be making that kind of investment and still having to lose money from it.
And you're on your third shower replacement due to leaks and mold. Hey, me again. Come check out my brand new shower. Over here on the right, we have this nice rustic Red Bull can that was jammed in between my drywall that I'm sure is full of pee. Over here on the left-hand side, we've got the world's biggest crack in my foundation. I love that for me. And then down here is just a little trash bucket that they made underneath my bathtub. I'm sure I paid extra for that. Anyways, rustic open concept is really in now, y'all. I would really highly recommend going with this shower model.
Here's a video I never thought we'd put out. This is our beautiful home, 7 years old. And I just found out that that entire stone front is detached and about to come plummeting down directly in front of our main entrance, which we use every single day. And from what the home warranty company and home builder just told me, apparently this ain't their problem. It's on me. This just put a halt on my dream shop. I would love for this to be a warm aloha welcome back. However, today's a very selective aloha. I've recently discovered that the front of my home, constructed of brick and limestone, suspended at about 15 to 20 feet directly above the main entrance, has become completely detached and is only being held up by the eave. Now, as a fun fact, this is what limestone would do from about 15 feet. Now, as a father of 2 young boys, you can imagine I wasn't very happy about the fact that the wall above my main entrance that the boys run in and out of several times a day could collapse at any moment. So I immediately called a home builder who shot me right over to the warranty company, who are more than happy to tell me that ain't our problem. That's not covered. And this just didn't make sense to me, that a home only 7 years in age would have this type of problem. So I ran into the attic to do some investigating, and unfortunately, I think it got worse. And from there, we were very alarmed, so I called the home builder again, who now won't return my calls. So here we are. Maybe I'll make a TikTok about it. The day in the life of a D.R. Horton homeowner. First off, at 15 feet in height is our wall siding made of brick and limestone, detached from a structure. So I went to the attic to investigate, and unfortunately, it got worse. Once you get through the pathway of death, you arrive at the front of the home via the attic. These uprights, in theory, would have brick ties holding that veneer in place, which these uprights are cut an impeccable 90-degree angle. Now, if you guys are by chance new around here, this is not the type of content we put out. This, however, puts us in a very sticky place because for years, we've been working and saving every penny we can to break ground on a dream shop here on my property. However, the thought of having to tear down the front of my home and rebuild it doesn't sound very cheap. And I'm certain a lot of you out there are gonna have questions here about the home. So here's some quick data points. Home was built in late 2015. We are the second homeowner that took ownership in early 2019. From my understanding, in Texas law, builders are required to provide a 10-year home warranty, in which we are in year 7. In year 7, the only thing that's covered are major structural defects. And from what the home warranty company is telling me, the entire front end of a house apparently is not structural. They try to explain to me that if that front wall of the home were to fall off, the home wouldn't come tumbling down. So that's not structural, which I immediately answered with, I could drive my truck through a structural wall, the home wouldn't come tumbling down. So, challenge accepted. Now, there's a really important point here. This isn't the first time I noticed issues nor reported it to the warranty company. Just over a year ago, I started noticing cracking in the mortar here just on the edge of the columns, and reported to the warranty company because I assumed that there was foundation issues that caused an issue with our columns, which would result in cracking there. There's also been a split right down the middle of that archway, which is extremely alarming given this is the main entrance to my home. That is 15 feet up, and that ain't light brick. They did nothing about it. Look who's just showing up. So, November 2020, we submitted the claim, and January 20th of 2021, we finally had someone out there to measure the foundation and determine there was no major structural defects with the home. In fact, that the veneer was just cosmetic, and it was told to me that you could actually just go ahead, fill the mortar, and repair it because, again, it's just cosmetic. However, the cracks got worse, and we discovered the whole thing was detached, which led us to the attic. Now, when we got our home inspection before we moved in, I think the guy did a decent job. He found several things that needed to be corrected in some of the easy to reach areas. However, the front porch of my home from my attic is over there around that corner. And I went back and read his report, and he noted that he accessed the areas where he felt or deemed it safe, but my butt, without any experience at all, was able to kind of scale along our 2x6s here in order to get to that front porch. All right, so as we scale along this 2x4, the only place to really stabilize yourself and put your hand is this thing, and they met it.
I've seen all these videos. Excuse me, I'm taking my braids down. I've seen all these videos about D.R. Horton homes, and I wish that we knew before we bought this house, because the way we've had to replace everything, and I'm not even playing. We've been in this house 4 years. Okay, we've had to replace the toilets. We've had to replace the faucets. Let me show you. I'm not done. Hold on. We've had to replace the dishwasher. The microwave, it needs to be replaced. The refrigerator, Whirlpool. Let me show you something. Look. Had to buy more of these. And then the floor. Look at this. Cheap vinyl. And it's coming up. Like, and if you get water on it, it's gonna bubble up. Hold on. Cabinets, had to replace all of these. Had to paint the cabinets. Had to replace the lights. Need to replace the fans. I mean, they give you the cheapest fans. And let me show you the closet, because I'm not done. Closet. Look what, I mean, like, over $200,000 home. This is what they use for the closet. And look at the light. Look at that. Look. Like, just, I've been trying to clean that. And I have OCD. I scrub this shit. And it's just like, it won't go away. It won't. This is the shower. Like, just plain. Tub. Plain. Like, I love my house. But if I would have known, and it's like, you know, once we got in the house, our interest rate it's like a 3.25. So it's like, we're here. And in this economy, you know, we here. This is our house for now. But baby, let me get some real money. It's over. Even when we got our patio done, like, we had to ask the HOA. And they said it had to be a certain color. When we got the fence done, that had to be a certain color. Like, I'm telling you, don't buy a D.R. Horton home. Like, just don't. And they build them fast. Like, the neighborhood I live in, they are building these houses of it. Like, 1 minute you'll drive by and it's the foundation. Next day it's a whole house. So if y'all don't listen to nothing else, I know people want to be homeowners, and don't let them trick you into getting these houses because they're cheaply made. If you can find a house that was built in the 80s or the 60s, just remodel it, renovate it. Like, don't unless you got money, like, where you can have a contractor and somebody that know how to build a house, and you can be over how you want your house to look. Just don't do it. Don't do it, because it's fuck shit. Like, for real.
D.R. Horton builds 93,000 homes per year, more than almost every other home builder combined. This is how they became America's home building machine. D.R. Horton was founded with a $500,000 loan in 1978 by Donald R. Horton in Fort Worth, Texas, and today it's the largest home builder in the United States. In 2024 alone, they closed 93,311 homes, generating $33.8 billion in revenue. That means that roughly 1 out of every 7 new homes built in America now comes from D.R. Horton. Their advantage starts with land control. D.R. Horton controls over 540,000 lots across the U.S., enough land for more than 5 full years of construction at their current pace. But instead of buying all that land up front, they use long-term option contracts, which lets them lock in land prices years in advance without tying up massive amounts of capital. This allows them to scale faster and survive downturns better than smaller builders. Their next advantage is hyper-standardization. D.R. Horton doesn't design custom homes. They use repeatable floor plans, standardized materials, and national supplier contracts. This gives them lower construction costs, faster build times, and predictable margins. Most homes are actually built in under 90 days. Then comes geographic dominance. They focus heavily on Texas, Florida, Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, and Tennessee, which are the fastest growing housing markets in America. These markets provide affordable land, business-friendly zoning, and endless population inflows. But their real secret weapon is cycle control. During housing crashes, when most builders retreat, D.R. Horton buys land aggressively. That's how they built their massive land bank after the 2000 financial crisis and the 2020 COVID shock. Then when demand returns, they flood the market with inventory. So it's not just home building, it's land banking plus supply chain engineering plus a capital strategy. So that's how one company builds 93,000 homes per year and becomes the biggest builder in America.
Hi, this is a little PSA for anyone who wants to buy a home. If you're looking into D.R. Horton, just don't buy D.R. Horton and move on. Here's why. I have had so many issues with the home, like things that never should have been an issue that they did wrong from the beginning, and they don't want to fix their mess. They will not respond to you. It takes months and months of reaching out for someone to even respond to a text message, an email, a phone call, anything. Not just me that has had these problems. I've talked to other people in the neighborhood, my neighbors, they have had these same issues, and I've been reading stuff online, seeing videos. D.R. Horton is just, I don't know why they're the #1 builder in America, because they suck, let's be honest. I love my house, I really do, but it's not built correctly for a new home. Like, I don't understand how this passed inspection. I don't know what money is going into what people's pockets, but it was not done right. I've had to fix, here I'm just gonna tell you the things that I had to fix. So the biggest problem that I'm dealing with right now is that my yard is flooding. They never graded it correctly. The water, every single time it rains, not even in the summer, like today, it's spring, I have a big rain, I will have standing water in my yard for multiple days, close to the house. I've been reaching out to the superintendent and the builders to come like look at it so that they can fix it. They put down stakes and they did some measuring and they said everything's fine. I'm like, every single person that comes to my house is like, what the hell, like this is not done appropriately. And you can see the flooding. You can sit in the backyard and see that the yard is not graded appropriately. I don't understand how they think that that's okay, because the next hurricane that comes, guess what? It's coming to my house. So I have to now go with an outside company and pay thousands of dollars to get a problem fixed that was done incorrectly from the beginning. And I'm not the only person on my street to have had this exact same problem. I've also had multiple grading companies come out and like take a look and do measurements and give me an estimate of what it would take for them to fix it. And they've all identified the problem, given me a quote, explained to me what they would do and how they would fix it. And guess what? Every single one of those grading companies said to me, they said, oh, you have a D.R. Horton home? We know exactly what the problem is. I'm like, before I even explained to them what the problem was in my yard, they go, we deal with so many D.R. Horton properties. If companies know that they have to come in after D.R. Horton builds a home and fix things that D.R. Horton did not do appropriately, that's how you know it's bad. Like, another issue, when I first moved in, they installed my sliding glass door upside down so it wouldn't open. I'm like, okay. It took me reaching out to them like 5 times for them to get like in my house and flip it the appropriate way. I've had issues with the plumbing. I've heard that this is kind of like a new home thing, but there's been clogging in the pipes that I've had to have fixed when I first moved in. And recently we've been hearing some like air sucking, like there's been things in the pipes. I haven't had a problem with that so far, so that's fine. And you can tell that they built it cheaply because I'm hanging things up outside. I'm using a concrete drill bit, and the concrete drill bit is going through the concrete like butter. Like whatever concrete they're using, I could literally use like a hard, like a sturdy knife and just scrape the concrete off and it just crumbles. Like that doesn't seem good to me. Also, to talk about the quality, all of my doorknobs have been falling off all year. We've had issues with you open the door and the knob just comes off. Also, the sink, one of the sinks, the silicone just completely disintegrated within like the first few months of living here. So the whole sink just moved around on the counter. They didn't even put the appropriate silicone around the sink to keep it sturdy. The quality of the home in general is just not great. It's good for like a first home. I'm happy with my purchase, but I wouldn't recommend it to other people. I would never buy D.R. Horton again. I wanted to keep this house long-term, but do I think this house will last long-term? Probably not, because you can just tell how cheaply it's made that I'm like, I don't understand. I genuinely don't understand. But what do I know? I'm just a girl.
The day in the life of a D.R. Horton homeowner. First off, at 15 feet in height is our wall siding made of brick.
What if I told you I'm not surprised by this? I'm going to tell you something that I cannot stress enough. But first, understand, I'm not just saying that it doesn't surprise me because it's a D.R. Horton built home. Lots of production builders out there, especially over the last couple of years, saw so many different issues with not only supply, but labor. And labor is where guys are cutting corners, getting jobs done. They have pressure on them to hit deadlines when the home really is not ready to go. So here's what I can't stress enough. You need to be getting your inspections throughout the build process, even on a new construction home. There is no question that it is worth $500 to $1,000 to pay someone that you are hiring to have go through the home with a fine-tooth comb and make a list to give to the builder for items that need to be fixed prior to closing. Could an inspector miss some of the items that came up in that video I just showed? Yes, but I'll take my chances.
My life in a day in a D.R. Horton new build home. From the beginning, we've always had problems with the garage door. Now it's completely broken. I can't even move it because if I do, it'll fall apart. Who knows how much they're going to charge me. This crack in my front door that I always have to see. My floors, it's not even real wood. There's bubbles. Do you see the bubbles? Like, it's just awful, you guys. And this is not even a cheap home. And my light switch is crooked. When I asked them to fix it, they said no because it's cosmetic. So yeah, just be aware.
This is for D.R. Horton and D.R. Horton only. So if you're not them, you can just scroll. But hey, girl, I have a question. Approximately, how long does it take to fix a mold problem?
Because if it's under 3 weeks, I don't really believe you, because that's how long it's been for me and my family. So let me just show you real quick.
Also, there's a lot of mold and just really gross looking stuff. So if you don't want to see any of that stuff, you can keep scrolling or you can skip. So at the beginning of June, this is where it begins. So at the beginning of June, my partner and I buy this house and it's great. We love it. Have an inspector that you guys sent actually. And they said it was fine. So we moved in. And then I start smelling something in the kitchen and I'm like, odd. I open the cabinets and this is, I don't know if you can tell, that's mold. And then we see some in the garage. Over here, that, I don't know if you can see, those are orangey kind of spores and just mold and water damage in our garage. So they realize that this is coming from behind the cabinets and they remove the cabinets. And then this is the drywall that was removed from that section. Covered. I don't know if you can tell, but just covered. Super gross. They took this from my ceiling above my front door. That doesn't look too healthy, does it? We're just going to play speed round because I don't have a lot of time left. That's also behind our kitchen where we made our food. Some more of the back of the drywall. So the guys that came out to fix it, great guys. I don't have a problem with them. They're fine. But they thought it just went halfway up. It went all the way up the wall. So explain. And this was a fun little souvenir too.
And there's a lot more that I could fit into this, but I don't have the time. But tell me why it's been 3 weeks since anyone's fixed it.
If you're buying new construction or even thinking about it, I need you to pay attention. A class action lawsuit has just been filed against D.R. Horton, the largest home builder in the nation. And this shit is bad. They are being accused of running a monthly payment suppression scheme along with their in-house lender. What that means is they were showing buyers lower monthly payments by only calculating the taxes on the land, not the finished home. This makes the payment look cheaper than it actually is because the first year a home is built, the taxes are only calculated on the land. But in the second year, when the property gets reassessed, you get taxed on the full amount with the finished home on it. And that payment is often much higher. One buyer was quoted a payment of only $2,100 a month, but the next year, when his property taxes got reassessed, his payment shot up $1,000 a month. Just off the taxes. And this ain't rare. This ain't breaking news. This is something that we see all the time. I'm a mortgage lender, and every time somebody buys a house, we have to calculate the taxes. There's a formula out there to do it, and they could have done this from the jump if they wanted to, but they didn't. Who does that benefit? And it sucks for the buyers because they get sucked in with these marketing schemes and the builders make the home look super affordable with all this money for your closing costs and buying your interest rate all the way down. I mean, you're stretching your budget in the first place. And then you get hit with this. A lot of first-time home buyers don't know any better. And by the time they realize it, the builder's already sold your loan to somebody else and ain't shit they can do about it. And let's be real, if they could do something about it, they probably wouldn't anyways. This is a classic bait and switch, and if D.R. Horton loses, the buyers in this lawsuit could be entitled to up to triple the amount of money they lost under the RICO Act. This is huge because D.R. Horton is not the only builder that allegedly does this. It's something that I've warned people about over and over, and the fact that these large builders are able to get away with this at scale It's just downright disgusting if you ask me. So if you bought new construction and your payments skyrocketed months later, number one, you're not the only one. And number two, if it was with D.R. Horton, I recommend you lawyer up and try to get in on this. And it's about damn time that these builders started facing some accountability for these crazy marketing schemes that they pull.
So, by the looks of it, there is more than one class action lawsuit with D.R. Horton, so that's never good. Hopefully, all these homeowners get what they're owed, because we the people really do have the power. And shout out to these great home inspectors for showing us the real and being honest about what goes on behind the scenes and what goes on with these new builds and how to protect ourselves as potential buyers. And same with the real estate agents. It takes a true level of integrity to not be sold out by $1, but it'll help you in the long run. What's blowing me is the random pee bottles, beer cans, and trash that they leave in random places inside finished homes or crammed in the skeleton of homes somewhere. I can't imagine how many houses are put up and behind the walls there's old pee bottles and trash. Like, what are these builders doing? I understand the job is hard work because construction usually is, but in these instances, they're not even doing their jobs properly, so the least that they can do is be cleaning up after themselves. Can we get construction workers that actually take their job seriously, love what they do, and recognize that it's not just a hobby or a run-of-the-mill type of job, and that what they're doing can make or break a person's livelihood and future? And D.R. Horton, even though they're getting the brunt of the backlash, they're not the only ones. You're not really safe with other builders either. It seems like they all have their issues, and we're not expecting perfect homes, but these problems are ridiculous in such a short amount of time and for huge amounts of money. Houses aren't cheap and haven't been for a few generations, so it's even crazier that our grandparents were getting cheaper houses and the quality and materials were better and more durable. Everything now is just for the luxury aesthetic, but the quality gives raggedy. Plus, if you're thinking about flipping a home or just buying an older home, they also have their issues. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to inform you. If you're thinking about buying a home, do your research on the builder, get a third-party inspection, not just theirs. Don't rush the process, ask questions, and document everything, because this is one of the biggest investments of your life. We want homes we can pay off and pass on to our children, and with the way things are looking, that's just not going to be possible. But as someone who also wants to buy a home for me and my family, I am speaking it into existence that I will find the perfect home. There will not be any issues. I'll find the perfect inspector. The prices are going to be right. The location is going to be right. Everything is going to work out in my favor. I'm speaking that into existence now.
Put a finger down if you have a home built by KB Home, Building Relationships, and ever since you've had your house built and closed in 2020, you've had issues. So let me tell you my story about KB Home. This will probably be multiple, but anyways, KB Home. If you are planning on building a home, your dream home, do not, and I repeat, do not build it with KB Home. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. So 2019, Matthew and I decided we were going to move out of our town and move over to the other side of the county. A few cities over. We decided we'd, actually the day before our son's birthday, we signed the contract, put down the initial deposit, and my credit needed a little work. I have no shame. I have resources. If you don't have great credit, I have resources to work and build your credit back up. Don't be ashamed of that. People have to go through that in life. So I had to go through a different process to get my credit score up, but I went through the process KB requested, and therefore they would build my home and guarantee, the credit was guaranteed. Fine. I signed in September. My house was supposed to be closed on April 21st, which is my birthday. No, they broke ground on the house in February. Fine. We ended up closing June 27th. June 27th, people. That's very important here. Very, very, very important. After June 27th, so June 27th we closed. Around July 7th, and I have receipts, I can post them. You want credit, KB Home, I am coming. I have receipts. So around July 7th, around that time, we noticed water seeping into our kitchen window. Our kitchen window, it's a double window. You know, I wanted to be all Susie Homemaker and look outside and see my kids playing. There was water leaking in it. KB Home sends somebody out. They say they fixed the window. Nothing about the water damage. I'm sure if you check the Farmer's Almanac and check the weather from June 27th to July 7th, whenever that date range was, there was a crap ton of water because we noticed it coming in, right? KB says they fixed the home. That's July. July, August, September, October, November. Nobody from KB Home would acknowledge that I had water damage behind that wall. Nobody. So I went through months, nobody responding, anything. Finally, somebody from KB responds because I brought up my health, which I shouldn't have to disclose for you to fix my home, but I had to bring up my health. Then all of a sudden, Hydro-Dry, again, Central Florida. Yeah, I'm dropping business names because now I'm upset. Hydro-Dry comes out. They come out, do the assessment on my home. The guy tapes my kitchen cabinets, looks my mother-in-law in the face and says, do not use these cabinets. Behind it is a problem. That's what he says. So he's trying to say, oh, no moisture. Fine. KB Home has to come out. They had to remove the cabinets. Again, they only removed the cabinets on one wall. Remove the cabinets. The people who removed the cabinets left the cabinets in my garage. KB Home calls me, and I have, again, receipt on receipt on receipt, KB Home. They come out, remove the cabinets. Hydro-Dry places, a fan. They do the antimicrobial, they do the mold remediation, everything. They place a fan behind, like, on the wall. Now my kitchen's gutted. Did KB offer to pay anything for me not being able to use my kitchen actively? No. I've been fine. I didn't ask for it, to be honest. I just wanted my kitchen fixed. I'm not a money hungry type person. Just fix the kitchen that I paid for. I tried to be nice. Again, this is 2021 at this point. 2021. Yeah, I think so. I have all the dates. I will update the timeline, but I'm on my way, back to it. So they come out, they do the mold remediation. Again, 2020 was during COVID. We know COVID was a messed up time. I was patient. They said they couldn't get the cabinets, whatever. KB Home flat out told me, Miss Mitchell, we're not replacing your cabinets because there was no water damage. I asked the lady then, I said, are you sure that's the story you guys want to go with? She's like, there was no water damage to your cabinets? Y'all, the cabinets were still at my house with the visible water damage. So again, I lit them up. She was like, oh, I was just going from what we were told. And I was like, yeah, well, you guys didn't destroy the evidence to prove there was no water stains, but it's cool. Again, I have the pictures. That happens. KB finally replaces my countertops too, which they said they weren't going to replace. They ended up replacing them. Fine. Let's wash our hands. Let's call this what it is. At the time that KB said they fixed the home, KB did not water test. KB did not send anybody outside of Hydro-Dry to do the mold remediation. They never water tested to verify that window was fixed. You know what? New homeowner, I really didn't know what was the issue with the windows. I really did not know that. So I took KB's word. Shame on me. Y'all do not trust KB Home. Listen to me. Listen to me so I can tell you the agony that has happened. Around, I'm going to say it was July 2022. I'm going to guess around that time. No, maybe it was 21, whatever. I noticed in my kitchen outlets, again, I can verify all of these with emails and texts and dated pictures. Around whatever time it was, which year, there was moisture behind my outlets in my kitchen. It was the most confusing thing I'd ever seen. You know what? It had to be 22, and I'm going to tell you why it had to be 22. Most confusing thing I'd ever seen. And maybe it was 21. I don't know. Matthew passed in 22, so it's a blur in that whole bubble. Anyways, I noticed moisture behind the outlets. We send it to KB. KB sends somebody out. They put antimicrobial paint around it. I'll show pictures because the paint's still there, and there's mold on top of the new paint. They say stucco is causing the water intrusion into my home and to get my house fixed. Okay, fine. Again, it's in the warranty. They say you have to maintain the home. Fine. Stucco, house settling. We live in Florida. Fine. Fill the little stucco cracks. The guy is adamant. Oh, no. It's definitely stucco. And I said, well, that's weird because it's a lot of water moisture in my outlets to be stucco. But fine. Again, I have enough construction background, but not enough to argue with a multi-billion-dollar construction company who talks to you like you're retarded. So, fine. They do that, like within 3 months, the mold is back around the outlet on top of the new paint that they had. Ugh. It's antimicrobial. It's going to work so good. It's back there, right? I absolutely text these little jokers. Shame on me for not messaging, putting it in paper. Again, at this point, I'm thinking they're going to be good people. They're not. Matthew passes in September 22. And I know after that, the company that KB has come do their little mediation stuff, they came out and they treated my home. They did it on the house. They said they respect me and my husband, and that this time they'll check all the stucco. They checked the stucco, did the maintenance package on the home. Again, there was not a lot of stucco cracks or anything that would have caused that much water intrusion. Again, who am I to argue with this builder? They're saying this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. So I'm not going to sit here and argue with them. They're saying, okay, now Punch Out Guys is the other company. They turn around, they do the stucco. They're like, okay, Miss Mitchell, you'll be fine. The outlet still had moisture. So again, this no longer can be a stucco issue. I already told KB that. It's not stucco. Fast forward to 2024, Hurricane Debbie comes in and destroys my life. Hurricane Debbie, which wasn't even our worst hurricane, during Hurricane Debbie, my son finds behind our couch, he's like standing in water and it's piddling. And I'll attach those videos to the end of this. I reach out to KB Home. These jokers with this much water in my house try to say it's stucco. Anybody that knows construction knows that much water did not get in the house from a stucco crack. No matter how many cracks you have to have a gaping hole in your house for stucco to be that bad. Here, I'll show you the clips because I'm running out of time. KB Home, know that I'm coming for you. Y'all share this. Do not build with KB Home. They are not building relationships. They are taking your money. They will not fix your home. Okay, now that I've calmed down some, I'm going to record this so you can see the water coming up between my toes. You see that? It's all extremely saturated.
Today I'm out in Round Rock doing an inspection on this newly constructed home. Let's go take a look. Phase 3 inspection should have the grass already installed, and as you can see, it is not. I don't know if there's a shortage on grass, but it should have been installed by now. Let's check this dishwasher. That's pretty loose. Turn around and look at the stove, and there's no oven door. That's to make sure your turkey and apple pie don't burn. And there must be a shortage on microwaves because this house didn't come with a microwave either. Aside from being underneath the countertop surface here in the kitchen, which the NEC does not want to see anymore, this GFCI outlet doesn't trip. Here's this door frame where the strike plate is. You see this wood is split. It's probably because they had the torque set too high when they screwed these screws in. I was here checking in one of the windows, and the house next door that's vacant and available, that one has grass. Here in one of the closets. Great place for a doorstop on the shelf. Or you can hang clothes from there too if you need to. Here's another door frame. I don't know what could have caused this to split right here. A lot of times there's debris and whatnot down the shower drain. It's kind of hard to see in the cameras trying to focus, but there's a nail in there and some other debris that I'm pointing out in the report. You need to come clean that out. Here outside, up there at the roof line, that's called a metal drip edge. You can see how it's separated and sticking out. It's not sealed down like the rest of it.
If you guys ever buy a new build, be very careful. I'm going to call them out because at this point it's just been way too much. KB Homes. Great salesperson. Love them to death. But as far as the infrastructure, it's subpar. It's not our first build. Subpar. Only been in the house for 4 months and have had so many issues to the point where this right here is not centered. We asked them to center it. It's not centered. And now the garage door has a mind of its own and won't open and close. Well, won't close. And then we had a dispute about our refrigerator and the casing. Them saying we didn't pay for it. We saying we were never offered it. But now we got to go out and get it ourselves. It's just the rush to build and then the rush to close. So if y'all ever buy a KB home, be prepared because it's been nothing but issues after issues after issues. And, you know, it gets fixed, but it takes forever. And then it's just a second guessing. So just fed up. I'm just fed up. Have y'all had any experience with KB Homes? Because if you have, please enlighten me.
Why don't I recommend KB Homes specifically? Well, in that video, I did top 5, and in those top 5, I know I mentioned, and you even alluded to it here in your comment, that they were the best value for what you're getting, best customer service and all that things. And so I think KB Homes is probably maybe like a top 10 on that list. I don't know where I'd specifically rank them on a top 10 list, but I think those 5 builders in the video where your comment came from are better in my opinion. KB Homes, for the value, is pretty good of what you're getting because you're able to build it from the ground up, and for the lower price points, like in the $200,000 to $300,000 range, you're able to build from the ground up and customize it to your liking. So they're one of the only builders at that price point that will allow you to do it, and to get a different builder that will allow you to like really choose just about any option on a house, you have to go up in price. And when I say up, like usually you have to get above $350 on the price point and higher. So KB Homes are pretty good. I have had some clients in the past who have purchased KB Homes and they just have had a rough time with the warranty department getting things fixed. And it's like simple things like the flooring was coming up, and that was just like an easy thing in my opinion for them to fix, and they just didn't want to do it. And then there's just so many other issues that I've heard from other people that have purchased KB Homes. Even so, like I had a client build one from the ground up and they were quoted to take about 9 to 10 months, and it ended up taking 13 months to build. So I just don't have the best opinion of KB Homes. And another final note too is their incentives that they offer typically aren't as good as the other builders. And what I mean by this is I was looking at KB Homes maybe a month ago, and at the time they were only offering $5,000 towards closing costs, which helps, but other builders at this space or doing things like interest rate buy downs plus covering your closing costs, and $5,000 depending on the price of the house doesn't really cover all of your closing costs. So in my opinion, there are much better builders that will give you more incentives and better value for what you're getting than KB Home, but not a bad option. They're much better than some of the other builders out there like Lennar and D.R. Horton. So let me know if you guys have any other questions or how I can help you guys find your next home.
This is the worst that I have ever seen in my career. Wait until you see this, because this is the worst I've ever seen. So I walked into this house and I was immediately hit in the face with a terrible mold smell. Now, I came to this inspection, it's what's called a walk and talk, and I didn't bring my respirator with me because I walked down into this basement. I just want you guys to know how much I am looking forward. Like, I'm always sketched out when I have to step on these stairs. So I came in here, and the first thing that I saw was all this vapor barrier hanging down. But look what happens when they do this. Water gets trapped inside that vapor barrier, and it just starts to wreak havoc with it. Because this is them trying to solve the moisture intrusion problem the wrong way. But this gets way worse. Saw this mold under here, and that's not good. But wait until you see this. Oh my God. Look at this mold. Oh, that ain't even the worst spot. It gets even worse. Yep, we came over here. There you go. That is the worst mold that I have ever seen growing on anything, anywhere. That is like a thick mold crust. And yep, you guessed it, this gets way worse. La, 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 la. Oh, look. There's mold on the door. Look how thick that mold is. Like, that is so significant. It's like fluffy pillows. This is like a Guinness Book of World Records. This is like win a prize at the fair kind of mold. Like, this almost looks like some sort of purebred mold. This mold comes with papers. We've got crusty mold. We've got fluffy mold. We've got artistic mold. It's abstract. This right here represents the plight of the human race. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be sick. I'm going to lose my voice. All for your viewing pleasure. That's like a trainload of nope right there. That's as nopety nope as nope gets. I've never seen anything like that before. That is crazy.
Can a new build home be built well if the building process is rushed? And who can guess how fast a new build home can be built? And I am not mentioning the name of the builder because some people do not like that.
Well, the sticker says we passed final inspection. Let's see how the house looks. This breaker at the bottom right, well, that is damaged. That needs to be replaced. And at the same breaker, the lug is on top of the insulator, not the conductor like that, like it's supposed to be. And this is a loose neutral wire, so I hope that did not pass city inspection. Yep, that passed final inspection. Once calibration is complete, just like that, then we can check for gas leaks. And that's another gas leak. There you go. That was fast. Copper water supply pipe and steel rebar should not be in contact with each other because then that would be galvanic reaction. There should not be a flex air supply blocking the attic entrance. But did it pass final inspection? It does seem like it takes the garage door technicians quite a few tries to find the bottom truss cord when mounting these support brackets. But what it doesn't seem like they're trying to do is it doesn't seem like they're trying to patch the holes that they're leaving in the ceiling. Do you love stucco? Well, you should. This wall cladding, that's very loose and very spongy right there. Mm-hmm.
(2025) new construction. As beautiful as this home is, ultimately, guys like me are here to check on everything behind the beauty. So here's what it's going for. Let's see what we got. As I finished taking my complimentary pictures, I can't help but think to myself, wow, cosmetically, this place looks really, really good. Spoke too soon. Did I have to put a laser level on that? No, of course not. Obviously, it's just because it looks super, super cool. Just because this install complies with the manufacturer's instructions, it doesn't make it the best practice. Cool, solid stuff. So the construction manager just stopped by because the electrical panel was locked and I had to get into it, obviously. And I asked him while he was here, I said, hey man, you're cool with me using tape on everything, right? And he goes, dude, of course, tape away, you're making our job easier. Love that. Time to test our shower pan. Yeah, we've had the pan filled up for at least 20 minutes now. We've checked all the walls surrounding it. Absolutely no evidence of a leak. Yeah, good stuff. Well, we almost have a perfectly installed water heater. And as we can see here, the draft hood isn't secured to the tank and the flue is not secured to the draft hood. This step here is kind of strange. Yeah, honestly, I'm not sure where they were going with that one. You know what? All things considered, the framing in here actually looks pretty decent. Even this palm brace is solid, and I find issues with these guys all the time. But you know what? At the end of the day, Would it even be a new build inspection without at least a few gaps at our rafter to beam connections? Just a few. Well, as soon as I walked up to the furnace, I smelled some gas, so let's see what we got going on here. I have a feeling I'm going to find it at this appliance connector up here. Oh, hang on. Here we go.
At the end of the day, you deserve quality, you deserve honesty. You deserve something that's built to support your life, not stress you out. Don't let pressure or aesthetics make decisions for you. Move smart and move aware. Even though I am sure that with these builders and others, some people have had success stories. Some people have the home of their dreams and couldn't ask for anything more.
We are never ever buying a new build home. That is what we said 6 months ago. And yet here we are doing the blue tape inspection on our new build home. So you might be wondering what made us change our minds. Originally, we wanted to go with a used home, mostly because we heard the horror stories of new builds like Lennar, D.R. Horton. We actually live in a Lennar rental right now, and it is a nightmare. The foundation is bad. We had termites. And so we started off by only touring used homes. And I don't know if this is a San Antonio thing or not, but let me tell you, these houses, almost if not all of the homes that we went to go visit, they all had so many problems. Bad AC, bad garage door, you name it. They were not maintained at all. And when we came across this home built by KB Homes, the first time around we got a really, really pushy agent, but our realtors interviewed other agents and they found the perfect one for us that wasn't going to be pushy. It's not required to get a third-party inspection with new builds, but we did it anyway for our peace of mind. And I am so glad that we spent that extra $420 because now we have peace of mind knowing that there's nothing wrong with this home. We have 10-year warranty on the foundation and a bunch of other warranties that they gave us. Our interest rate came out lower as well with a new build. And honestly, the blue tape, we didn't have to put that much blue tape, which I am so surprised. So yeah, I can't wait to give you guys a tour once we have keys. Okay, bye.
Best time to do a home inspection is in the rain. I'm inspecting this new build today, and guess what? This was the nicest new build I've inspected all year. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Just met with the project manager, great guy. Wow, I kind of went over the report, very little things. And he loved it. He said he loved the gap at the corner of the garage door because he's going to ask that this shrinkage cracking here get skimmed over. And he's going to ask the contractor to take care of that because he wants this done right. This project manager is the best in town. No gutters. Gutters. They installed gutters. You don't see that every day. They installed blinds. The builder installed blinds. They never install blinds. What is going on? I must be dreaming. Here at the electrical panel, look at this. They GFCI protected all the interior branch circuits. All of them. And AFCI, but still, they didn't have to do this. That's an upgrade. I really want to take a second to admire the electricians up here. I mean, look how beautiful this wiring is. They leave these tiny little loops at these boxes just in case these lights need relocated, 6 inches here or 4 inches back. They leave a little bit of slack so that the box can be moved without having to rewire. That's a really smart way to do it. Everything's nice and supported up here. This electrician is impressive. And Merry Christmas, they installed a surge protector. The kitchen island is solid. I love it. No level needed. I know that AC unit is level. Great setup for the AC condensate discharge. Super impressed. And you know they installed stainless steel braided hoses at the washing machine. That is money. Not a single loose fixture to be found in this house. Not even that one. That one's always loose. Shutting the garage door, got the lights off, and look at this, guys. No daylight. Well, a little bit of daylight. Okay. In the garage, I don't see a water shutoff. Typically, they cut in a shutoff here.
for the whole house, so you don't have to go all the way to the meter. Usually we see them, so we're going to recommend that be looked at.
Let's get the tops of these posts sealed up.
What exactly is the difference between buying a luxury home or buying a non-luxury home like all you other common folk? Well, let's go see. Well, it sucks that somebody had to do a little bit of work during their drinking time. This bathroom exhaust vent, that is dumping air right into the attic space. Poor guys, they must have been really thirsty. Luxury cabinets. Luxury cabinets. Luxury cabinets. Luxury cabinets. There's those luxury hairline cracks.
That one has consistently gotten worse.
Yeah, it's nice.
That's a big one.
Mm-hmm. Luxury interior walls. Luxury countertops. Walking on your roof does not void your roof warranty. Walking on your roof does not void your roof warranty. Walking on your roof does not void your roof warranty. Somebody should really tell the builder, but the vents and penetrations are not supposed to be installed within 18 inches of the valley central line. And this dryer vent cap, that is missing the hardware at the support strap. Luxury hairline cracks at the post-tension concrete slab. Hollow tiles, that's good. That's bad. What are the odds that when the builder needs to do stucco repairs, that they just use caulking instead of using stucco? And I am not mentioning the name of the builder because some people do not like that.
All right, so new construction home inspection, and I walk out the back of this house, and this is what I'm looking at. Now, look at the slope, how sloped it is. I mean, we don't have it as bad as our neighbors do, but yeah, anyway, I'm going to pull you back inside and take you from the back. And I'm going to take you straight out the back door like you were going out onto the back patio. All right, now, so hold on. It's like we're getting off a chairlift at the ski slopes. Look how much yard we have to throw ball. 2 feet before it goes down the mountain there. And we're not in the mountains. Man, these builders, I'll tell you, they're just throwing these homes up, putting them on little mounds, just doing the least they can. But, you know, I mean, they're catching all the silt before it goes down into the vegetation there. You know, oh my God. That corner house. I don't know. I just don't know about that.
I almost cried at my inspection today. Look at the flooring. It's all covered. Gotta give a shout out to Highland out here in Wildflower Ranch. Almost got me tearing up. A nice rainy day, and we also have subsurface drains installed. Gas lines bonded. Electrical. Grounding rod proper. And I've walked the house on the outside already, and I've made 2 comments, which, if you've been following my content for a while, that's unheard of. Every window is caulked. They just didn't paint one little thing. And yeah, I do inspections in the rain, and I don't reschedule them because it's perfect. So don't reschedule it. More subsurface drains right down the middle out to the street. And here's my second comment that I made. It's just paint. Water heaters pumping out hot water. The pressure in the house is a little high. It's at 100, should be maximum 80 here in Texas. So they need to install a pressure regulator right there. Then after the rain, just come heat up by the fireplace. But let's be honest, you need to find a builder that cares.
So when you first get to the house, even on new construction, whatever, what's the first thing you look at when you're walking in the house?
Well, first things first, I stay on the outside when I get here. And I usually just do a walk around of the property. I'm looking at the grading of the property. I'm looking at, hey, what kind of siding material are here? What kind of roofing material do we have? That way I can kind of just process that first and kind of get an idea of how I'm going to attack the inspection. And then I'll do a walkthrough, turn on some lights, make sure that I know what I'm dealing with here with the house, and then go from there.
So even this one is a slab foundation. So on a slab foundation, you're still looking at drainage and grading and all of those things.
Absolutely. It's all important. The water runoff from a home is so important. Making sure that water stays away from your foundation, making sure that your grading goes away as well. It's just vitally important and for your foundation in general.
Water issues are...
Oh yeah. Yes. Water
Nobody
can ruin
wants
a lot
to deal
of
with
things.
that.
That's right. Water can ruin a lot of
equals
things.
bad.
Exactly.
Okay.
This might be an unpopular opinion, but in 2026, I would not be buying a new construction house. And this is coming from a residential real estate appraiser who sees the houses from the studs. These homes are being rushed, built with cheap quality materials, and just do not stack up to the price. You think new means better, and that's just not always the case. But if you are hell-bent on getting a new construction, here's my suggestion. My suggestion, if allowed by the builder, is just have them build the house. Just the basic stuff, framework, roof, electrical, whatever. I would hire an outside contractor to come in and do all of your finishes, lighting, flooring, tile work, etc. That way you ensure you get the quality and you get what you want, because I don't know about you, but I'm not trying to live in the Truman Show where everybody's house looks the same. Sometimes doing it this way can save you price on the build, but the best thing out of everything is that you ensure you get the quality and the bang for your buck. And that is my real estate advice for today. So follow for more. Comment below if you've recently purchased a new construction and have any tips for anyone. And like and save and do all of the things.
Now, I know most days everyone's arriving here thinking that we're going to shit all over new construction. But let's change it up a bit today. Today, I had the pleasure of inspecting a Broadview home. Now, this is the show home. We're inspecting it for a client of ours, show homes for sale. So let's have a look. And just so everyone is clear, I have no affiliation with Broadview. Just turns out they made a great home. So let's check it out. Now for me, when I go into a new home, I like to skip all the fun, really pretty stuff upstairs, go to the basement. That's where the heart of the home is. That's all your mechanical. So let's see how they did it. Now they've got a 200 amp service. It's fantastic in today's world. In case you want to be one of those crazy people getting an electric car. All your water shut-offs, radon rough-in, sump pump, mechanicals laid out somewhat in the middle of the basement, which still gives you lots of room. And everything has been done with great detail, which is fantastic and nice to see on new construction. And let's have a look at some place that seems to be a constant fail. Well, that landing supported on both sides. And this has been a well put together home right from the time you come in the front door. Can't pick at it. It was honestly the shortest list of new construction that I've had in probably the last 2 months. Now, one little thing that I always love to see when the builder does it. Very, very simple thing, but a lot of times overlooked, or the builder just chooses to not. So we're in the laundry room. And for those of you that follow our TikTok often, you know exactly what I'm looking for. Accessible shutoffs. Perfect. Now, let's have a little seat and discuss one thing that really helps set them apart. I had a chance to speak to the sales rep, Jake, fantastic young fella, and Ryan, one of their supers. Now, they make sure that they're not overrun with projects. They're keeping a limited number of projects to make sure they're turning over great quality. That should just be standard with everyone. Instead of having some of these supervisors that are looking after 50, 60, 70 homes. Because you're not getting a good quality home if you've got a supervisor that's looking after anything over 30. It becomes impossible. They're not going in and out of the home every day. And when they are, they're running through it. So Find yourself a builder that's looking out after the client. Find yourself a builder that has limited crews, limited amount of projects that they're doing, and is doing what's best for you. It's a lot of money. Do your research.
So this video was funny, informative. I really enjoyed doing this. And if this opened your eyes, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know in the comments, have you or someone you know dealt with issues in a new build home? And if you want deeper conversations like this one, tap into the channel memberships because we go even deeper over there. The biggest lesson here is don't let this world play in your face. Always do your research and always ask questions. Move smart because out here, they're selling illusions and you got to be the one that sees through it. Make sure you like, comment, hype up the video, and subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next one.